In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up a framework that will allow you to build a map like this old story map called a series. So some of the highlights of this particular type of story map are the tabs along the top. And each one of them allows you to go to a different tab and see different things. So besides the tabs, another feature that this story map has is the header that not only has the tabs, it also has the title of the story map up front and also leaves a little bit of space for some other elements like a logo and a link to a website. To rebuild this in Experience Builder, open up your ArcGIS Online account and sign in. From here, click on Create App and choose Experience Builder. Since we're going to create a new one, and we will use the blank full screen to get started. All right, let's start by building the header first. To do that, we're going to leverage columns and rows to make sure that the spacing and the layout matches what we like. Go to the layout widgets and we will first grab a column. We can use the style to set the width and height that we like. So I clicked on the dots, then click on full width. We want to anchor this right along the top, so I'll set this to 0%. And let's make the height 150 pixels. Going back to the original map, you can see there's really two rows of information happening. So the first row here has the title and then some other elements. The second row below it has the different tabs. So in Experience Builder, let's do the same thing. We're going to add in two rows. So here's one. And we can set the width to fit the column. And we'll set the height to 75 pixels. And then let's add in another row. And that row also has a height of 75 pixels and sits just below the other one. Okay, so in the first row, we can add some items. So let's add in a text widget. Okay, so double click to edit the text and we'll call it the classic story map series layout. To make it quite a bit bigger. So I will go all the way up to 24. And because I like the darker background, I'm going to make the text white. And then I go back to the row. In the style, I can set the background and I'll set the custom color to black. And now it pops out. The one below it, since I'm here anyway, I'm going to go ahead for row 2, also set the background and make it black. Okay, and because this is a row, if we wanted to, we can also grab an image and put it right next to it. All right, so now we're ready to put in the tabs. And we put in the different screens with all the information we want. Both of those widgets can be found way at the bottom. So first we are going to put in a section. In the style, I can set it to have the full width. And then as far as the height, I'm going to again pick the pixels. And since the header was 150 pixels, I just want to make sure that it starts just below that. So I also set that to 150. And then I drag this all the way down. On my page button, I can go ahead and see my new view and I will rename that. And I'm just going to call this my first tab. Okay. So on the right hand side, you could tell I'm still on the section widget. And I'm going to click on content. So here is my first tab. And I am going to put in a new view. I can rename it here as well. and I will call this my second tab. And why stop there when we can have 3 tabs? Okay. So now technically we have screens sitting on top of each other. So how do we get the tabs to basically just switch between them? So going back to insert a widget, all the way at the bottom, we choose diffuse navigation and drag that in here. Okay, so from here we can choose between different styles, and let's pick this style over here. You can see my third tab is highlighted. The other two are there, we just need to change the colors so you can actually see them. So going to my widget navigator, I can get there either by clicking on it, or I go to my page and then go to my views navigation. Let's go ahead and click on content, go to advanced. We can change the background. Black is fine. So now we have 3 tab styles for the default, which is for tab 1 and 2 when it's not being selected. When it's selected, which is the blue one right here, or when you're hovering, which means you're hovering over top of it. So let's set the default first. So I think it would help if we change the text from black to white. Okay, that's already helping. Then if you wanted to change the color on the selected one, you can change this around. For example, you would like the text to be black, but the background to be white. As you go along, don't forget to save your layout, give it a better name, and we can even see how this particular layout would look on different screens. So I think we're coming along, although I'm not very fond of this white stripe in the middle here. Okay, so the white stripe is basically the space between the 2 rows. So by setting the background color for the column, which sits behind both of them, we should be able to solve this issue. So I clicked on the column. I can go to the background, custom, and also make it black. This is looking pretty good. So then the last step would be is to actually add information to the screen right here. So we can do that by looking at the widgets, and we can choose to include the map. Let me go to my first tab, which is still blank, and let's bring in something there. So back to my insert widget, and perhaps I would like to embed something there, maybe a base map gallery. And then that leaves me 1 tab, the second one, to put some information on. I can go back to my insert widgets, and let me go ahead and actually embed an app that I made in ArcGIS Online. Paste as plain text, and there it is. So let's save this, and let's take a look at a preview of what we built. All right, so taking a look at the final product, we have our title, a space to put other information. We have our first tab, our second tab, and our third tab. Thank you for watching this tutorial.